Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, y'all, welcome back, okay? I hope y'all like the title of this video. This is the welcome home party for Chris. Y'all know how they be doing whenever people get out of jail. You be like, free Chris, okay? And then when they get home, you have the welcome home celebration. So welcome, y'all. I've already poured up my glass, and we're just waiting on Chris to arrive at any moment so everyone can welcome him with warm arms. Okay, y'all. I have to say, I'm proud. Okay, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you, and this is the fastest that I think I've seen anyone, at least throughout the couple seasons I've been watching, pack their bags and get to stepping. This is the fastest I've seen anybody do that. And that's why last week I didn't want to go in on him for staying cool, calm, and collected. I did not want to go in on him. I knew that eventually he would come around. But now we sit in the fear of seeing if he's still going to entertain her later on. Okay, because what we know about him is that he typically is not the person to leave relationships. And I really like my thumbnail, so I want to try to grab it. I didn't upload it before this video, but I want to try to grab it so we can show it on screen. So let me see what I can do real quick. Let me go ahead and download that thumbnail so we can go ahead and put up his banner. We can call it the banner. We need to put up his banner. And I was really trying to mimic the America's Next Top Model. Y'all know what I'm talking about? You know that GIF? That's how I was feeling, okay? Now, those of y'all in the chat, go ahead and say what's up to your neighbor while I grab this picture before we jump into the video. So go ahead and say what's up to your neighbor, okay? Better yet, let me know where you are watching from. And another thing, while I upload this picture, ooh, ladies first, I can't sing. I'm not the singer of the group. But ooh, ladies first panel has an interview dropping tonight. I don't even want to give y'all details about the interview that's dropping tonight. All I have to say is there's an interview with somebody from OWN. And it's gonna be a juicy one. So right after y'all finish watching this video, head over to Jamie That's Me, her YouTube channel, and you're gonna be in for a surprise. Okay, so right after you watch this video, go check that one out. But yeah, let me go ahead and say hello. Hey Fave, hey Jay, Berta, Alicia, Lashia, TT, Miss Thang. Hey y'all. Naturally Mar, glad to see y'all here. But let me go ahead and pull up this thumbnail. Yes, Chris. We're gonna take them teeth and all. Okay, we're gonna take them shirt tucked in and all. Yes, Chris, I'm a ride for you. Okay, because he has done what Paige could not do. He has done what Henry did not do from New Orleans. He has done what we saw Mindy do from the North Carolina season, but she waited way too damn long to do it. So shout out to you, Chris. Okay, go ahead and come through. Yes, Shell, come through, Chris. This makes me enjoy him even more. And once we found out where Alyssa was on January 6th, once we found out why she really wants to beef with him, it made me enjoy Chris even more. And then in other news, we also have to talk about Michael being a liar. We also have to talk about my detective skills, because I absolutely noticed. Now I want to go find my tweet. I absolutely noticed on the premiere of the episode, I went back to my tweet from January 5th, and I saw that Michael had a Christmas stocking in his home. He had two of them, actually. And to me, I was like, whose extra stocking is this? Because from what we know, like, I thought this man lived alone. And it just seemed like a real feminine thing to do. So I was like, why is it 2 Christmas stockings in this man's home? Okay. I definitely peeped it, but I have to show it to y'all because yeah, I have to have proof to let y'all know why I do this thing, to let y'all know that I'm a whole detective on this, and I just want my credit, okay? I have to do it. I'm proud of myself for actually catching that. Okay, I hope y'all can see the screen. I said, date check, make me a detective. So you see on January 5th, I said, Michael, whose Christmas stocking was that in the background? I peeped 2 eyes. Okay, so now, and I hope y'all saw that. If y'all didn't, let me know in the chat. But now we know where that came from. So today's review should be a pretty easy one. Today's review should be a pretty easy one. My note taking skills were pretty easy, pretty light, because I really want y'all to head over to Jamie That's Me channel and check out the Ooh Ladies first panel interview that we have right after this one. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the video. Do me a favor, like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And hello, if I have not already said hey to you. All right, so let's start out with why not? Let's start with Katina and Olajuwon. They really weren't giving that much this episode. So what we see, the overall story with them is that he is still crying about wanting a wife to cook. And what is interesting to me is that as annoying as Olajuwon seems to us, Katina actually really likes the emphasis that he places on her being a wife, even though she won't say it. She really likes the pressure that she feels to make her man happy. And it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, because if you like it, I love it. If you and Olajuwon are on the same page, cool. So he really was talking about wanting her to be able to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He's going to be texting her, asking when the food is ready. All this, traditional traditional role things. And I always tell y'all, that's cool if you're trying to be a traditional ass husband. Are you trying to build stuff, not hiring people off of Craigslist to come and fix shit around the house? Are you trying to build stuff? Are you trying to pay all the bills? Are you trying to cut the grass, pick up the dog poop? Are you trying to do all of that? If not, I'm gonna need you to change your standards, and we both gonna be cooking. So anyway, Pastor Cal, he ends up making his rounds to everyone's to everyone's apartments. But that's after we go to Olajuwon's house. And when we do, y'all, it took me the fuck out. No offense if this is your home decor, but Olajuwon is way too young to have cappuccino and coffee decor in his kitchen. That literally took me back to my grandma's house. I was like, I literally screamed, where did you get this decor from, Olajuwon? It's not it at all. Katina was being nice. She said that she would rate his home like a 5 out of 10 for the decor. And I'm like, you're being really nice, because that was a mess. So, like I was just telling y'all, Pastor Cal ends up coming to the homes. And really what we find out is Olajuwon never had these demands about having a wife who cooked when it was down to the, yes, Family Dollar, Big Lots, that's what we was given. He didn't have these demands about a woman who could cook when he was going through the process. But now all of a sudden, you're placing this pressure on your wife. And y'all, to be real, like I told y'all, I think that she likes it. TT, you're onto something. She said that's not his house. That's his grandma's house, and he capping. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, does he live with his mama? And you're trying to act like this is your house and your decor? Because I don't know what man would have put that in the house. But then he said something about him and his brother work out in the basement. So that makes me think that the brother who's married, to the white lady, and we always see the white lady giving him advice. I'm thinking that Olajuwon lives with his older brother and his wife, but they didn't want to put that on Front Street because that was not his home. So anyway, Olajuwon was not putting all this pressure on having a wife who cooked. Now, the only thing that they end up talking about is sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. I told y'all that I thought they had sex. Come to find out, I was wrong, and that's okay. I'm gonna be wrong sometimes. And the reason why they're not having sex is because Olajuwon is the one who initiated the want to wait. I ain't mad at it. Not mad at it at all. But Pastor Cal warns him, like, well, your wife may be feeling like you're unattracted to her. And Katina says she feels like that a little bit sometimes. So I think they're going to have sex eventually. But they pretty much seem to be on the same page. And believe it or not, I think that they're actually going to make it. My mind has changed. As foolish as he seemed from the beginning, I'm like, Naturally Mark. Naturally Mark, she watched the episode. Thank you for doing us a favor. She said, Katina said he lied on the after show. What did he lie about on the after show? Did he lie about him being the one to initiate no sex, or did he lie that they didn't have sex, but they really did? Clarify for the chat, sis. Let me know. When Tay Talk says, but they did look like they were lying when they asked. They did look like they were lying, but the only reason why I felt like they were telling the truth when they were talking to Pastor Cal is because Katina carried on and was like, yeah, I feel like that sometimes. But who knows? Who knows? Katina's not giving me the vibes that she gonna stay on national TV whether or not she is having sex with her husband. Okay, that's what they lied about. Both of them came to the agreement that they wouldn't have sex, not just him alone. Interesting. Jillian seems to think that they smashed and they lying. Yeah. Okay. So, y'all, that was pretty much it for Katina and Olajuwon. From there, I guess we can let's talk about Noi and unemployment. Let's talk about Noi and unemployment. So, Noi, I was so annoyed with her this episode. So from the beginning, we see them have a slight disagreement over whether or not Noi's dog could actually sleep in the bed with them or not. And I'm like, okay, whatever, real lightweight. Next, they get a visit from Pastor Cal. And this is where I start looking at Noi sideways, like, sis, the math ain't math. And you know this man ain't got no job, but you are stuck on having 3 children. Why? So they have a disagreement on the number of kids. Steve says that he's fine. I think he said starting out with two, or either he said that he just wanted to have one at a time and decide from there. Whereas Noi felt as though she had to have 3. And that was the only thing that she wasn't going to compromise on, was that she needed 3 kids. And the reason why is because every time she sees her aunts and her uncles, it's 3 kids. And a family is 3 kids. And I'm like, girl, you're married to unemployment. You already know this man don't pay a mortgage. He don't pay rent. He just pay for gas and oil. Any type of maintenance, tire rotation. He does not pay for a roof to be over his head. And that's his preference. So why would you think that this is going to be a fight that you're going to win? What was interesting enough to me was that whenever Steve voiced his concerns, the first thing he said was, what about finances? Then he started saying, what about the ability of, what if you have a kid who requires more needs? What if you have a child with special needs? Those are all logical thoughts. You can't just say, I'm having 3, that's it. You're going to have as many as the Lord bless you with, okay? But let's keep in mind that at the top of Steve's mind, it absolutely was finances. He was like, finances. And I'm like, yeah. What is irritating about Noi is that in the same conversation with Pastor Cal, she voiced her concern and her fear for being financially unstable. So if you know that this man has no desire to work hard to live a standard lifestyle or a more common lifestyle, why would you then have a goal to have 3 babies? It just does not make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. It's almost comical. And I'm just like, what do you want us to do with that, Noi? What are you talking about, Noi? Like, she was not making sense. The stubbornness was weird, Tanisha. I agree with you 100%. So, girl, I guess she's okay with him in these job things, because he said something like, I can find gigs, I can design logos, design websites, and I don't know why, but it made me think about, when you be on Instagram and you go to the shade room and you get to the comments too early, or you be on Neighborhood Talk and you get to the comments too early, and the first comment is always like, need help, need a logo design, contact me. That's what I was thinking Steve be doing, but that was just the first thing my mind went to. So Pastor Cal finally explained to her, like, that does not make sense, and she looked like she had shit on her face. She looked so dumb. So I guess she'll probably, reconsider. And I'm seeing a bunch of y'all in the comments who have kids, and y'all like, Lady J talking about she's a mom of 1. Her 5-year-old takes all her energy. Danielle says after the first one, she'll think again. Everybody is saying that's hilarious. Yes, Nana, anyone need a logo? That's the vibe that he was given. So I'm like, girl, goodbye. So from there, I think that we should go ahead and let's talk about Lindsey and Mark. Lindsey and Mark was an interesting one this episode. Mark is starting to switch up. And I feel like what we're seeing in this man is exhaustion. So we see them wearing hazmat suits to go to Mark's place. And it's really no telling what his place looked like, because it is nothing there. There's nothing there because they've been cleaning up. Now, let me tell y'all this, okay? I told y'all last week that Mark's landlord probably wanted him kicked out because his place was nasty. I know very well that nastiness does not equate to bed bugs. I know that very well, okay? But that still doesn't change the fact that I think that he probably was a nasty ass tenant, which is why his landlord was saying, don't bring the cats back. So who knows? But anyway, Lindsey was acting like a ride or die. They pull up in the hazmat suits, getting his stuff. And to be honest, all I saw was wood plank around his place. His place didn't look big, didn't look nice, even if you had put furniture in it. So for him to be so opinionated over Lindsey's space, to me, was weird. So then we go to Lindsey's space. Lindsey's apartment was cute. It was eclectic. It was small. And I'm just like, it was nothing wrong with her spot. It was good enough for one person when his ass didn't have nowhere to stay because you bringing bed bugs into the landlord's house. She offered you a place to stay, and then you want to talk down on her place. But the one thing he never lied on was her oven looked like it came from every bit of a damn dollhouse. Like, when I saw the oven, I was like, what? You're going to have to get some easy bake pans to sit on that stove. The oven literally was about the width of this MacBook Air. It was just that wide. So that was the only thing where I was like, wow. And she was like, yeah, I don't cook. She had lots of plants. I'm a plant lover. She had lots of colorful artwork. It was cute. The lighting was good. It looked way better than his place. So then we get an update from the two of them later on in the episode, and we find out that Mark's grandma is not doing well at all. She weighs only 70 pounds, so he definitely is under some stress. Lindsey then says that he acts completely different off camera and is really stressful. She said it's a big turnoff, and he's literally not invested. He's not interested in the relationship at all. He acts completely different. So she ends up talking to him in the kitchen, and she says something like, basically, get away from me with this because I'm about to go off on your ass. She didn't say that, but that's basically what she said in the most respectful way. So then Pastor Cal comes to the house, and that's where Lindsey starts to voice her concern. She said that she felt like Mark went from all and then nothing. And she's the type of person to wherever you're in it, you're in it. But if you back up, like, it's a difference between backing up and backing off. And she feels like he has completely checked out of the relationship. So Mark doesn't necessarily say anything. He's still afraid to confront her. So then Pastor Cal, thank you, Pastor Cal. He says, but I will tell you one thing, Mark. You're afraid to say how you feel. And I was like, thank you, because even when you have the platform, Mark, to tell this woman what's going on, you don't. So if Pastor Cal wouldn't have said that, you wouldn't have brought it up at all. So once he did, Mark then explains, well, Lindsey's a lie. He said the way that she behaves, that's not the way I grew up. And it's basically a lot to take at one damn time. And he explains it in the nicest way. And he also says that he feels like she suffocates him with affection. And sometimes he just needs to be. And once he explained it like that, I was like, you told us that before, Mark. You told us before that she was suffocating you with affection and she wasn't listening. Or it was that this is what happened, y'all. Do y'all remember when they had the dinner on the honeymoon and he almost worked up the courage to tell her how he felt, but then as soon as she got mad, the next day they were laying up in the bed like nothing ever happened, like Jamie and Beth. And that's where I knew it was an issue, because I feel like he started to tell her the truth and then he backpedaled because he was afraid about what the outcome would be. So now that you're feeling this way again and you've been putting your feelings to the side, you've been trying to entertain this character that is Lindsey, that's all over the place, that's going crazy, and now you're to the point of exhaust. Yes, Nana, Lindsey was chiming in with Pastor Cal and she was not letting him talk. So once Mark explained exactly how he felt, even then, Lindsey was like, I still don't know what you're talking about. And Pastor Cal was like, Lindsey, don't do that. Don't do that. You are too much. But this is why we matched you together. And he explained exactly why they matched them together. He said that Lindsey is a lot and that they matched her with Mark the Shark because they didn't want to match her with somebody who she could just walk over. And they know that Mark isn't easily walked over. And when he said that, I was like, that's a damn lie. That is a damn lie. Mark is easily walked over. He gets to the point to where he just taps out because he cannot fake this extra Red Bull type energy with Lindsey. So I'm like, Pastor Cal, I see where you coming from, but what you just said was a lie because Mark is not that guy. So even though they decided to listen to each other, communicate, respect boundaries, and make it a work in progress, I still don't think that this is something that Mark is going to be able to do long term because Lindsey is exhausting. I've been around people like that. No matter how nurturing she is, she's exhausting. Me, myself, I'm an ambivert, which means I like being around people sometimes, but when I go home, I got to recharge. When I'm around people, they drain me. So I have to recharge for days before I get back out. Don't ask me to go out on a Friday and a Saturday. Don't ask me to go out on a Saturday and a Sunday. One day. Okay. So I don't think that Mark is going to be able to, get into a routine because honestly, the way that Lindsey is, she's been like that her entire life. It is not anything that she is going to outgrow at this point in time. It's just the way she is. And that's the way she expects everyone else to behave, which is, this is just the way I am. Love me or hate me. So we'll see what happens with them, y'all. Before we get into the last two couples, which was the ones that brought all the smoke. So before we get into Jasmina and Michael and Alyssa and Chris, because y'all know this is the Chris welcome home party, y'all go ahead, do two things. Number one, like the video. Number two, subscribe if you have not. My chat functions for the subscribers only, okay? Now, there's actually a third thing that I would like for you to do as soon as this video ends. As soon as this video ends, I need y'all to head over to Jamie That's Me on YouTube to check out an interview from the Ooh Ladies First panel, and y'all will see your girl, okay? So Let's go ahead and get that like the video. All right. Let's get into it. I was dancing to my music, so I forgot to. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's talk about Jasmina and Michael. A couple of y'all, I know y'all don't watch the show, so y'all coming to me just so we can talk about it. And I love that for me and us because we are less than 30 minutes in and I'm about to wrap up a whole 2 hours for y'all. So I watched the show, so you didn't have to. Let's talk about Michael and Jasmina. So as soon as they get back to their shared apartment, Jasmina is like, I gotta go. I gotta go figure out what's going on with my dog. I gotta make plans for my dog. So I'm gonna take a few days to figure that out and then I'll be back. Girl, what? Girl, what? This is what, the 14th, 15th season of this show? You gonna tell me that you didn't know you had to make plans for your dog before you moved into the apartment? Quit playing with us, Jasmina. Jasmina, you are full of it. You knew damn well you was gonna have to bring your dog to the apartment or put your dog on somebody else after that honeymoon. And you gonna sit in our faces after 14, 15 seasons and act like you didn't know what you was gonna do with your dog. You a damn lie. So she ends up telling us that she lied later on. She said that, that was a lie. I just needed some time alone. I just needed to reset. She pulled a Johnny from last season. I need to go home. I need some time alone. And y'all know that never works. It never works at all. Jasmina is hard to like. That still does not change my opinions on Michael lying. I think what he did was lie. He lied. But Jasmina is a difficult character for me to get with. As beautiful as she is, she seems to be hella argumentative. And she just seems really negative, extremely negative. I don't think I could really even be around her. Like, I'm a realistic person myself. I'm not the most optimistic person, but she is hella negative. So, you could tie it back to what she has gone through in her life, but y'all, Michael's been through shit too. And he seems to be a little bit more optimistic than her. But after he lied today in our faces and act like you didn't lie in our damn face, I was feeling some type of way because one thing I hate more than somebody lying to me is somebody blatantly lying, thinking that I'm dumb enough to keep with the story that they're telling me, to the point to where they're lying and you can look at their face and see that they're lying. But yes, the episode definitely set up that dog conversation so that we could see that Jasmina lied, just like Michael lied. But the difference to me is Jasmina told a little white lie. She needed to get some time. Michael told a lie about his entire damn living situation. They were in Michael's apartment where the woman was, and he still lied. What? Who was the lady supposed to be, Michael? The cleaning lady? Uber Eats? Shipped? Who was the cleaning lady supposed to be, Michael? So anyway, she left for a few days. We're going to get into that. And Michael, he ends up telling Jasmina in a later conversation that he has never lived with a woman before. Never. Okay? Never. So then we end up going to Michael's house. And when we get there, she starts seeing things around the house. She first sees artwork of a naked woman above his bed, whatever. She then starts seeing crystals around the house, things that are like girly items. So she's like, whose is this? And then that's whenever we find out that he has a girl roommate. And as they're sitting there talking, she's like, but I told you that I had a male roommate. Why didn't you tell me when you had the opportunity to tell me that you were living with someone of the opposite sex? And he says, well, you know, it just never really occurred. I didn't feel the need to tell you right in that moment. And she said, so where's the roommate? He said, I don't know. And here she come walking in the background. Whoosh. She just walking in the background. Michael, did you think you lived with Casper the ghost? What did you think was going on? And then come to find out, he doesn't only have one female roommate, he has two female roommates. And that's when she gets even more upset. And she's like, why didn't you just tell me that you had two? And that's the thing that will literally make me want to shake you, because you're still withholding information. Number one, you withheld the fact that you lived with a woman. Next, you withheld the fact that you lived with two women. And I'm like, what are you lying for? He feels like he wasn't lying at all. He feels like it wasn't a big deal. J-Dub, you killing me. J-Dub said, I think it's some liars in the chat. If y'all think that Michael was not lying, it's some liars in the chat. He withheld information not only once, but twice, multiple times. So ultimately, they end up talking to Pastor Cal. They are in some deep shit. Absolutely. They get into a disagreement over if Michael was yelling at her or if he was not. And I explained this to y'all a couple reviews back. So I hope that y'all have been here for the ride. Okay. A couple episodes back, we find out that they got into a disagreement at the honeymoon. Jasmina felt like Michael was yelling and being disrespectful. It was never caught on camera. Michael ends up admitting to being disrespectful, admitting to having a negative tone. And that's, in line with what his family has said about him. So in my opinion, I had always felt like Michael only admitted to it because he felt like he couldn't win a fight with Jasmina. So in order to get past the friction, he decided to admit to some shit that really didn't matter so he could move on. Only for Jasmina to forgive him and still turn around and bring it up when Pastor Cal came by. So now that Michael is pretty much figuring Jasmina out, and he's figuring out that he can't win an argument, okay? You lay down and tell her, fine, F it, I'm wrong, you still lose. You fight against her, you still lose. So now he has a different, pep in his step. He has a different train of thought, especially since he was recently caught up in a lie. And he's telling Pastor Cal, I didn't yell at her. I didn't yell at her. He said, I might have gotten aggressive with my tone, but I didn't yell at you. So they argue like kids in front of Pastor Cal. And that's when Pastor Cal, he turned on his, let me talk to the black children real quick. Here's what we gonna do. Pastor Cal hit him with that. Here's what we gonna do. We're not gonna do that. When y'all get into arguments, I need you to turn to him and say, I'm not your enemy. So are you willing to do that? And she says, yeah. Jasmina, you don't want that man, and that's all right. You don't want that man, and that's all right. Michael, at this point, if Michael was willing to make it work with you, I think he's a little bit less invested in you now because you seem to be with the shits. Michael seems to be with the shits too because he likes to lie. And for that reason, it ain't gonna work. I ain't mad at it at all because both of y'all with the Jasmina and the negativity to me has to be a little bit more annoying than Michael lying. I have to say it. Just because Jasmina has been doing it for so long, it doesn't seem like she ever gave him benefit of the doubt to prove himself to be a decent person. So now that Michael has, been caught in a lie, it's like she's almost been waiting for it. But in the same breath, I'm like, Michael, why did you lie? What else do you be lying about? So that's pretty much it with Jasmina and Michael. Okay, y'all tell me what y'all think about them. And then we are going to move on to the final couple. Yes, Chris. Shout out to you. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you, Chris, teeth and all. And if y'all been watching the after show, I think Chris looks actually very handsome on the after show. Suits tailored to fit a little slim, hair laying different. So I'm just like, okay, shout out to Chris. So no surprise here, y'all. Alyssa does not move into the home. No surprise, okay? And we see Alyssa spending some time talking to her mom, the one who was like, girl, don't show your ass on TV. And she did it anyway. So she's so busy playing victim. She's like, Mom, there's just things that we don't get along. You don't see how he treats me. How does he treat you, Alyssa? Girl, goodbye. So her mom is like, yeah, he's cute. He's a nice guy. I think you should give him a chance. So as she's steadily trying to convince her mom why Chris is a bad guy, Alyssa did this. She said, okay, all right. Mentally, I feel like she was like, Mom, you think I can make this work? Let me pull this out of my back pocket. Let me tell you that he wants to defund the police. How do you feel about that? That's basically what she did. She basically was like, you know what? I'm giving you umpteenth reasons as to why it's not going to work with this man. But if none of those reasons convince you, let me tell you, he doesn't back the blue. Let me tell you. So she was like, you know how much I admire our armed forces. You know how much I admire our police officers. And if you defund the police, who are you going to call? Who are you going to call? And that level of stupidity to me is what I clocked from day one. I told y'all in a previous review, anybody who has that much passion for animals but can be a fucked up human being, and I just had to say it like that because that's what she's shown us, anybody who can care for animals that much but be a messed up, less than decent human being, that's the life you live. You don't see all people as equal. You don't see Black people or minorities in any type of regard. And I can tell by the way you carry yourself with your nose powdered up everywhere you go. I don't care if you're friends with Jasmina. I don't care if you're friends with Katina. You want to be ignorant, okay? But that's not what this channel is for me to teach you some things. I'm not going to do that. But what she did was she pulled it out of her back pocket to prove to her mom that if you didn't think he was a bad human being now you should know that he doesn't back the blue. So we see Chris talking to his friend, and whenever he is talking to his friend, who is actually a police officer and is best friends with someone who wants to defund the police system, as he's talking to his best friend is definitely giving him that energy like, girl. That is the energy he was giving. He was giving the energy like, girl, let that lady go. You know, it's not worth it. Your happiness comes first. So then we finally see Alyssa come to the house to meet with Pastor Cal. And what took me out, y'all, was when Alyssa was in the house before Pastor Cal got there, she was walking around in the kitchen. And to me, it felt like she was trying to give off the impression that she was comfortable in the home. You don't live there, Alyssa. Pastor Cal has seen everything on video. Quit playing in our faces. So, of course, she's bullshitting. You know, I'm still here. You know, if I didn't want anything, I wouldn't be here. I'm still here. That should mean something. I'm still making it work. And Pastor Kyle's like, hold on, let me keep you honest. Let me keep you honest here. You didn't even go to the honeymoon suite the night of the wedding. Well, I'm just weird about sleeping in the bed with everyone. I'm just weird like that. Even with him, if with anyone, I'm just weird. That's a damn lie. So then she says, you know, I'm interested in moving forward. I feel like I deserve to be here for a reason. I'm interested in this. So she starts giving reasons. Pastor Cal's like, this is not marriage. Marriage isn't you stay in the house for 4 weeks, he stays in the house for 4 weeks. Like, what are you here for? And she says, well, the reason why is because, you know, I'm allergic to dogs. Girl, since we met you, you have let us know how many dogs you saved. You let us know how many dogs you love, and you were willing to suffocate in your house as long as you could save all the dogs in the world from your allergic reactions. I'm like, are you serious? You coming up with all these different excuses. Oh, well, he has a husky, but my dog doesn't shit. Oh, well, you know, I've been around my dog 10 years. So making up all types of excuses, right? So she's crying, and I'm just like, girl, you a fool. Pastor Cal says, well, if you're willing to make this work with Chris, I need you to repeat what you just said to me. So she turns to Chris in all of her disgust. And all the while, she's playing in Pastor Cal's face, trying to make him believe that she wants to make this work. Pastor Cal's seen all the footage, sweetie. We've seen all the footage. Roll the tape back. You don't want that man. So why are you trying to convince Pastor Cal that this is something that you're passionate about? So after she tells Chris, I'm willing to make this work, lightweight looking like she ready to vomit on herself because y'all know she's repulsed by this man. Chris is just sitting there. Chris is just sitting there smiling. And he says, well, thank you for that. But today is my decision day. Today is my decision day. And I said, ooh, not today being your decision day, Chris. I was like, okay. I was nervous for a second, really thinking that Chris was going to be like, today's my decision day. If you put in 1%, I'll put in 100. But no, he said, I want to get a divorce. He said, while marriage is important to me and while having a partner and making my partner happy is important to me, it's more so important to me that our happiness individually comes first. I said, oh my gosh, never done before. Never done before. Why? Why haven't we seen it before, Chris? We've seen so many people on this show go through this bullshit and they actually sit it out the 8 weeks because something in their mind tells them that, maybe they'll come around. So, Chris, shout out to you for being a trailblazer, for paving the way for other people like you to not put up with bullshit when they come on this show. And when he did that, I was happy. Pastor Cal had a smirk on his face. Pastor Cal was happy as well. What was so funny to me was he says, I think there's a lot of reasons to still be in this experience, but I don't think marriage is one. So she goes, well, I don't understand. Why are you trying to make it seem like I'm here for other reasons? That upsets me. And then she goes to her confessional and says, her confessionals, I'm a good person. I'm not a bad person. No, you're a bad person. We've seen you. If I seen you on the street, Alyssa, I will cross to the other side of the sidewalk and not walk nowhere near you. Okay. So Chris, shout out to you. Shout out to you. I'm like, yes. Welcome home, everybody. He was only locked up in that hellhole of a marriage for about 2 good weeks before he said, I'm good, love. Enjoy. Chris, we are so proud of you. Chris, we admire your efforts to become an ally. Chris, I think the Black ladies are going to be in your DMs, okay? Almost the same way that they did Jacob a couple seasons ago. The same way that the ladies felt bad for Jacob, I think they're feeling that way for Chris. But Chris, we love you even more because you set the standard. You said, no, I'm not about to put up with this bullshit. So for the next 6 weeks, y'all, I guess we just hold our breath to see if he's going to go back and entertain her, because y'all know Alyssa might come around for a check. Alyssa will want to be involved in group events. But what I would love even more so is if we could just see Chris spend the next 6 weeks dating and bringing women to the apartment so we can see his little bachelor pad experience rent-free, since that's what Alyssa was pressed on. Okay, this woman was so frazzled that she got broken up with that soon. She walked out the house. I forgot my phone. Do you know where my phone is? Chris handed her that phone. I wish you the best. Okay. So, y'all, this was a very good episode. I have to say, it was a good episode. Wasn't really too much, but it was just enough. So I cannot wait to see what they are giving next week. Now, I told y'all to do me 3 favors, okay? First, I told y'all to like the video. Number 2, I told y'all to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And number 3, y'all to do me a favor and go over to Jamie, that's me, on YouTube, so y'all can see our interview with Robin from Ladies Who List. Let me see these comments. Shay says, I tagged you on the Ooh Ladies First panel. Instagram Married at First Sight. Oh, yeah. I saw Alyssa's ex. Girl, goodbye. First time in Married at First Sight history. Pour one up for Chris, okay? You know what, Danielle says, I wish he would have read her for filth. I'm not even mad he didn't do it. Give her the satisfaction of letting her know that she's a non-muff factor. Okay, you're irrelevant. I'm not even going to waste my breath going off on you. So I'm very happy to see it. We love to see it, Chris, okay? I hope y'all had fun talking to me about Married at First Sight. I have been catching up on Love is Blind. Almost done with episode 2. I got 3 more episodes to watch, and then I'm going to come to y'all and talk to y'all about the first 5 episodes, and I'm going to be posting weekly reviews on that. I don't necessarily want to give a date because I'm still trying to catch up on the shows, and your girl got a lot going on. But I'm always around, so y'all be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see y'all over on Jamie That's Me channel. Okay, so head on over there. Okay, bye.